What's up, people of the world? It's your girl Lala.
And your boy Siobhan.
And you are listening to
Talk That Shit
with the Melvin.
Hey.
Howdy.
What's up?
Howdy.
What's up?
Howdy.
What's up?
Nothing.
You good?
Hey.
You looking a little blue.
Was that a joke?
Was that?
Were you making a joke?
No.
Oh.
Was that an inside joke or something?
I thought you were making a joke. Because the blue light.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah, you looking a little blue, like the light is beaming on you.
I know.
What inside joke you?
It's not an inside joke. I just thought that maybe you were trying to make a joke out of the blue light.
First of all, we got too many inside jokes. Yeah. Over my head or over your head?
Over yours.
Girl, stop playing. You making a joke outside the blue.
I thought that's what you were trying to do.
No, I just said you.
Any other time, that's the type of that's the type of stuff that you do. So that's what I thought you were doing.
No, not this time. Not this time. So I just want to let you know, you guys out there, that La has been on a my belly look a little big right now. La has been on a cooking. What type of spree is this? Like,
no, I haven't.
She's been making cakes and pies.
That's not true.
What you making right now?
That's right now.
What you made? What you made yesterday?
I didn't make anything yesterday.
What you made the other day?
Nothing.
And she's in this whole week, she's been wanting McDonald's. She's been like, "Yo,
wow.
I need some McDonald's." I was like, "What?
That
McDonald's?
is such a lie, bro.
What the hell?" Listen, I had McDonald's yesterday. It was like these fries were so good, nasty. Does that make sense? They were nasty good. They were soggy, but they were like yeah.
Just stop.
I'm gonna cut that out about the McDonald's. And listen, hold up. McDonald's, listen to me. If you wanted to appeal to the black community, bring back the Big Mac, because this little Mac this ain't it. You can't name the Big Mac still Big Mac, but you got double cheeseburger patties on it. I even think they're smaller than double cheeseburgers patties. Y'all trying to save money? Well, you need to save that price and make it a little Mac, because bring back the Big Mac. All right, let's go.
There's something wrong with you.
I mean, listen, you just playing with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button too, because it's gonna pop up right there, like bing.
Oh my gosh, I'm so.
You see
bad.
that bing?
Are you done with your shenanigans?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the right lighting so you won't see my belly.
You have a black T-shirt on, bro. Well, who sees your belly? Sit up straight.
I am. I don't want to look like I'm 6'2" or 6'3" to you. Oh my God. You know what?
What an idiot.
I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna be honest with you. For Christmas, I want a pair of Kendrick Lamar's. You got your phone?
No.
Look them up.
No, not right now. Why are we talking about Kendrick Lamar or Christmas?
Because I want a pair of Kendrick Lamar's. Please look them up. Please.
No. I feel like if they're Kendrick Lamar's, they might have black people painted on them or something.
No. Look them up.
No, I don't want to look them up right now. That means I have to get up. You just want me to get up.
I do. I
don't want to get up.
Come.
No.
Please.
No. We're supposed to get into this topic.
We are. Oh, my computer's right here. I can show you real quick.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Hurry up.
I want a pair. Watch her face. For Christmas. Okay, that's fine. It's over. Wow. Um, let's
You're
go.
so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Okay, go ahead.
let's get into today's topic.
She says it's gonna be a good one.
It is.
Okay, here we go.
Does it always spin like that? I feel like it doesn't. Anyway,
Yeah.
as a man,
Ooh.
how do you feel about crying in front of a woman?
Ooh. Shit.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts about crying in front of a woman changed.
No. What are your thoughts? I want you to strictly stick to what are your thoughts.
My thoughts is I think you should cry in front of a woman.
You think you should?
I think you should. I think you should big ass hands. That's what happens. I think you should be able to. I think you should be able to show your emotions in front of anybody you care about, or just anybody that you're in a union with. If it's like if I can't.
Right, because that's really what it's more geared towards. Like when you're in a relationship, how do you feel about crying?
Yeah, because if I can't cry around you, or if I can't show my real emotions, then that means I'm not showing the real person that I am. Because if I have to hold certain things about me, because of how you're gonna view me, or you're gonna think I'm less of a man, like who, like people be like, oh, you're less of a man if you cry in front of your shorty, or if you show emotional damage, or if you show any type of because people just feel as though
vulnerability.
Yeah, the crying, it makes you weak.
Right.
It's like, who the fuck thought of crying makes you weak?
Right.
You know what I mean? So to me, I think that you should be able to cry. You should be able to. If I can't cry, that means I can't laugh around you. If I can't laugh around you, I can't fart around you. If I can't do certain things, I'm just saying these are things.
Farting is not an emotion.
No, because you can die. If you hold your fart in for a long time, that gas.
Okay, but farting isn't an emotion.
Okay, but yeah, I've known people that be like, I ain't crying in front of my girl.
Okay, so then that brings me to the question.
Oh.
Our topic is, so.
That wasn't a topic.
No, that was me asking you a question to get to where I'm trying to get to as of right now. So,
okay,
a little while back, on social media, of course, because where else do you see stupid shit?
Mm-hmm.
There was, I don't know if it was a podcast or it was just, like a situation where, well, I guess it might have been a podcast. I don't really know what it was, but it was two men, one being like the host, it seemed like, and
Right.
then another guy and two women. And the host, I forget the exact question that he asked, but it was along the lines of like men and being vulnerable with their women and stuff. And so the guy that was there sitting in between the two women, he says pretty much that all women, they sit up and they say things like, it's okay to cry in front of me, and I won't judge you, and I want you to be yourself, and all those good things. But the second that a man does cry, her thoughts, even if she doesn't say it, he said, her thoughts about you immediately change. Basically saying that women are fake, in the sense of y'all don't want a man that cries. And
this is what the host said?
Not the host. This is what the other guy was saying.
Oh, okay.
And basically saying like, we're full of shit when we tell a man that it's okay to be vulnerable in that aspect around and or with them. And so the other women, the two women that were there, were basically like, no, if we tell you, like, it's okay to cry, like, be human, you're human, be human. It's totally fine to cry. And so he was like, see, this is the perfect example of a women talking bullshit. And I was like, whoa. So my question, that's why I asked you that question, like, do you feel like it's okay to cry in front of a woman? Because I also know men that relate crying to weakness in the aspect of being a man. How have you ever encountered or been with, I should say, women whom you felt like you couldn't cry in front of? Like, have you ever cried in front of one of your like ex-girlfriends or something, or somebody you were dealing with?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say no. No, because yes, I have. I definitely have. And they saw it as a sign of weakness.
So what was the response to your tears, I should say?
From them?
Yeah.
I chuckle. Like really? Like it's not that like wow, it's really not that serious.
You know, I'm a very I don't okay, so like him, right? He's very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I know other people in my life that are very dramatic. So there have been instances in where he's being vulnerable about something, or he's emotional about something, and the drama comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, okay, listen, you ain't got to be that dramatic. I get it, but the drama is unnecessary. Right. I do that with anybody, though. It's not just like him because he's a man. I've done that with women. I do that with my nieces, my nephews, my sisters.
Your sons?
My son. Yeah, like,
why are you being so dramatic?
Yeah, like right. You can be emotional without being dramatic about it.
That's hard.
Because
if I cry, I got to go full. If I get shot, I ain't going to go, I got shot. I'm be like, I got shot.
Well, first of all, getting shot and just crying over a situation are two totally different circumstances. Okay. But anyway.
Okay, La.
So yeah, so I'm definitely more of like that. Okay, you don't have to be so dramatic about it. Now, if you're just crying and you're going through the motions, that's another thing. I'm not gonna sit there and laugh at you and tell you shut the fuck up, be a man, because in my eyes, I don't see crying as a gift women were given.
I got two. I'm just thinking about it now. Twice.
Yeah, I don't see crying as like only a trait women were given. Like, it's not just something that we only do. So I've never looked at a man cry. I've seen my father cry numerous times.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't think like, oh my God, he's so
right. Whether it was out of anger or sadness, I've seen him cry twice. And so for me, growing up, it was never like, oh my God, he's so weak because he's crying. I've never once felt like a man shouldn't cry. Now, being dramatic, and again, that's anybody. You don't have to be dramatic about it, like, because there are y'all would have to see dramatic for like. To understand what I'm talking about, because
movie coming soon. Y'all will see.
Okay, like, it's ridiculous. But to laugh at somebody,
it was a chuckle.
That's so like, it's so insensitive.
It was a chuckle.
It's so insensitive. Like, I'm crying because of whatever it is that I'm going through, and the first thing you do is laugh.
Mm-hmm.
What was your response to that?
I immediately felt like, because I was crying like, yo, this is bullshit. Like, this is going.
Can I ask what the situation was? What you were crying about?
My mom took me off the basketball team.
So this was high school.
High school. The second one happened in college.
Damn.
I got a third shit. You unleashing everything. Yeah. My mom took me off the basketball team, and I was like venting. And I was just talking about everything. I was venting about it.
And at that time, you were really passionate about basketball. So I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the reason why she took you off the basketball court? Off the basketball team?
Grades.
Not grades. A grade, right?
A grade. She was like.
Because you had a what?
A C.
And you were usually a what?
A or B student. And she took me off. She was like, oh, no, this is not what we do. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm working. You know what I mean? Like, I'm, playing basketball. I'm doing all these things. And she was just like, nah, this ain't happening. Nope.
And took you off the team. And so you were venting to your at the time girlfriend.
I was venting to my at the time girlfriend because I was just like, I was venting because of that. I was venting because of her relationship, like, having words about certain things. I was venting about
What do you mean?
um I think I didn't like something that they did. My mom and her husband at the time.
Okay.
And
So you were just going through a lot.
I was going through a lot, you know what I mean? I just was like, what the, like, this is bullshit, you know what I mean? And I was venting and everything was coming out at that time. And I just, like, I was crying. And she just, like, like,
I just can't even imagine, like,
yeah.
somebody really just.
It was like a chuckle, like, but then, but like they had to catch themselves, like, I'm laughing, like, whoa, this is, and it
Like
was
it came out loud type stuff.
like they was thinking, like, what the fuck, this nigga is like soft, and why is he crying? And it came off, and then it was like, oh, I actually just, you be like, did I just say that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, I
Like,
laughed out loud.
Yeah, it was like I laughed out loud.
I LOL'd.
LOL, right? And it was more of the strength of like, I gotta go. Like,
that's what she did.
Yeah, it was like I gotta go. Like,
please tell me the relationship ended after that.
It wasn't too far along after that.
That's insane. Like,
yeah, it wasn't too long after that. The second time I was in college, and I was failing everything, and I just and I was just like frustrated, like what the, you know what I mean, like whatever. And I remember being on. There was a park around the corner from us, and I was just over there, just on the, just on the court, frustrated. And I just was like, this is bullshit, you know what I mean? Like this and that, and
et cetera, et cetera.
et cetera, et cetera. And I was like tearing up. Wasn't no drama, nothing. And I was more mad at the fact of like I could have been still doing this instead of dealing with this and having to do like politics and stuff. Like I wasted time sitting on the bench in college. You know what I mean? Like not doing that. And she like laughed, like stop it. Like kind of like the no you're not crying. You know what I mean? Like no, I know you're not crying right now about this. Like you like and I was like, what? Like it's emotional, like, and we got into it, and yeah, we got into it like that whole week, and I think that was like the downfall of like what I started noticing, like people being in your corner and people that are haters, because there's people out there that be like, I'm in your corner, but they wishing like I hope you don't do that, or I wish it goes bad for you because I don't know you as this person, but it actually goes good. And they're like, oh, I was rooting for you. And then my third time was finding out them smashing somebody else, and I was just like,
was that just pure anger?
Anger.
There's a phone ringing. Did you accidentally call somebody? Oh, your phone's right there.
Yeah, it's your phone. That's probably somebody else.
One of the boys on the iPads, because I'm like, how did I hear that? Whatever.
Right. Because you're. Now I can hear it too, but you're.
I'm like, how did I hear that?
So yeah, just out of anger, because it was just like, what, like
bitch, like that,
right? Like what?
Like, bitch, you look here, I'll punch you.
I mean,
that. Instead, I'm punching you in your face. I'm just gonna cry it out, bitch. I get it.
Yeah, and that one's like, I gotta go. Yeah, I don't. I gotta go. I can't miss my appointment. But to me, like I said, it didn't bother me, because at the end of the day, I still feel like you should be able to. Your feelings are your feelings,
right?
I shouldn't be like, oh, I feel like less of a man because I just cried on you,
and she didn't like it.
I just felt like you ain't the one for me.
Yeah.
And whatever I go through, nah, like this ain't it.
That is insane.
I cried to Dorea too.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a different scenario, but she just was like,
right, because that was your that was your friend.
So yeah, like it's definitely I mean, I cried with you. You know.
Well, okay, so that's what I was getting ready to say. I before you, I don't think I ever, other than my father and my uncle, but I mean, we were still teenagers then, but teenagers and younger. But as a man, the only man prior to you that I seen cry was my father.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it didn't make me look at him as weak.
Right.
The very first time I seen him cry, it made me more sad than anything because I knew
like, something had to be going on.
Yeah,
for him to be crying because he's so strong.
I felt
The pain.
that he was feeling, and so it made me more sad and more like, damn, I wish I could help him rather than like, men aren't supposed to cry. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at that like that. And then the second time I seen him cry, it was anger.
Right.
Pure.
Man.
I don't even want to say rage, but rage.
He was angry.
He was furious.
I've had a conversation with a girl in college that had a man back at home, and she was like, he be calling me crying. Nobody trying to hear that shit.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And he was just crying because he was full blown, like he was far away, and he just was like, I love you, like I miss you, and I don't know what you doing up there, and you know what I mean. Like you can be doing me dirty up here. I'm not doing dirty at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, who's to say that that's what it actually was?
But my thing is like, how does a man shedding tears behind hurt? Because I feel like when a man is angry and he's crying, women don't look at that as weak. They just look, oh, he's just mad. That's the only time it's okay for a man to cry. But when a man is really going through something, it's like, oh, you're a man. You're not supposed to feel those type of emotions. But it's like, how does that even make sense? Like, bitch, God didn't separate our emotions.
Yeah, but
when He created us.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So like my dad, and then with you, the very first time I seen you cry,
you wanted to laugh.
No, I didn't want to laugh. The first time I seen you cry, I had to decipher if it was a real cry or a fake one. Because to me, you crying was almost like, it was almost like a baby learning how to walk. It was almost like you never, like you didn't know how to cry, or like you've suppressed the emotion or the physical act of crying because of whatever reason. And so when you cried, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is real
or not. Yeah.
Am I supposed to, like, what's happening right now? I don't really know. So I didn't do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then later I realized, yes, it was real. As we continued whatever conversation it was that we were having, I realized, oh, okay, this is a real conversation. Like this is, I mean, not conversation, like these are real tears.
Emotion,
like this is real emotion. I just couldn't tell.
Yeah, like I said, I've known people to be like, if he cry, he a bitch. Like, you don't want no punk ass nigga.
I know one other guy that cried, and it threw me off. I told you about the incident.
But did he try to hide it?
No, and that's why it threw me off. I was like, I don't know, it caught me off guard, I guess is the better term to use. And I was kind of like, oh, this is
Fruity Pebble? Think about the Fruity Pebble.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It threw me hardcore because I'm like, oh shit, like this isn't an act. Like those type of tears wasn't an act.
But what type of okay. But I'm sorry, but what type of emotional feelings for that situation, for that to be somebody crying in that situation?
I feel like that. I feel like it was the past catching up. We might have to talk about it off the camera, but I feel like I feel like it was the past catching up to the present, and because of that, there was a lot of uh
Anger?
no, there was a lot of realization, and in that realization there was a lot of pain but also anger. Like I said, we'll have to talk about it off camera,
Yeah, because that's
because I have to better explain it to you. But I was caught off guard, but even then it didn't make me look at that person like, oh,
But-
you're a bitch.
but the situation wasn't like
No,
the fuck you.
no, because that was as real as it got. As far as I had seen,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That was as real as it had got, and so I was just like, oh, okay. It may not be a current. That's why I said I think it was the past catching up, because I don't think it was a current pain or anger. I think it was past pain or anger. I honestly believe that truly that's what it was, a past pain and anger, and it just was now catching up and like really being able to be like, oh, okay, now I have it standing right in front of me. Now I can tell you how I really feel, and not on no I'm pissed type shit.
Yeah, we're gonna
We'll
talk
about
I'm so confused.
But again, yeah, it didn't make me look at that person like, oh, you a bitch.
I don't think it should.
But for whatever reason, this man feels that all women are that way. So he has had multiple accounts in where that's happened either to him or someone that he knows.
But that's the problem with that is all women aren't made from the same cloth.
Cut from right.
So it's
but that's people, period.
Yeah, you just think that this person's going like shit. Like, I used to think like that. I used to think like it's I see
weak
this
for a man to cry.
No.
Oh, I'm like, huh?
No, I see the things happening, and I'm like, oh, it's the same thing that's gonna happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think just up until like a few years ago.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
you were
that got the signs of like, oh, I'm gonna get fired from this job because I'm doing this, or I see this happening. So it's what's gonna happen, and I've already been through this. You know what I mean? I've walked down this street before.
But in a sense though, that's not wrong.
Right.
Because we do learn. We're supposed to learn from past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you see certain signs, you do kind of be like, okay,
but
this was kind of like. But to live by that experience is totally different.
Because I feel like when you have those experiences, yeah, you talk about them. That's where the communication comes in. Because if you care about that person and you want there to be transparency,
understanding,
you're going to be like, hey, in the past I dealt with this.
Right.
I'm seeing you do this. What's up? Instead of making your own judgment and thinking that woman or that man is just like what you dealt in before, because they can be like, oh, I didn't even know I was doing that. Or I don't want you to feel that way because that's not what I'm about. You know what I mean? Like, I care about you, so no, I would never do that. You know what I mean? What comes after that conversation, you can't you can't force somebody to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For me, before you, I talk to you about this all the time. I would try to prevent that from happening, from letting, you know what I mean, being like, oh, well.
And see, that's living by those past experiences.
Right. So it's like, oh, I know that when they get around this person, or, she told me that she likes this type of guy, so we not going to go around those people. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, who's to say that they not getting milk from the store and they see that person?
Right. You can't control it.
You can't control it. You know what I mean? I always thought that I had the proper way of controlling things, being like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Like, why are you doing that?
Daddy's taking us to a whole new topic.
I'm sorry. But
yeah,
I'm sorry. But the crying thing, man, I know guys that be like, I'm not crying around my girl.
But it's like, if you don't cry around your girl, who do you cry around? Your boys?
No, they just don't cry.
How?
Because they say,
how do you can somebody teach me to fight tears?
No, it just
because how does that happen?
I mean, that's emotional. People feel as though like people want to be like, I'm emotionalist, so it doesn't bother me. But inside they're fucking going crazy. They're dying inside. They're crying literally every day. But yeah, I've been around people that be like, that makes me less of a man to cry, and because then you hear the people like, well, my kids cry, my wife cry, everybody cry, but who I'm supposed to cry to? Nigga, cry to your family.
Right.
I'm gonna cry in the car by myself.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not, but
but
I
at
mean,
the same time, I feel like when you're constantly hiding those emotions, how do you give, like you said, how do you give the other person or even just your family in general the opportunity to learn you better?
Right.
Because I feel like I've never been like a super vulnerable person, but I feel like those vulnerable moments allow people to access you a little differently.
Yeah.
Like I used to, I'm not going to say I looked at being vulnerable as like a weakness, but as a weakness.
It just means you care when you're at that state of Mar. For somebody to get you that like that, that means you just care about. I'm gonna say sharing that information, like.
No, not from other people, from myself. Like being vulnerable for me, I was just like, yeah, no, I don't need everybody to know how I feel. That's just a way for them to infiltrate into me. And I don't need
that's what I'm saying. They people take that as like, oh, she care about me a lot. When you're like that to other people, like I'm not gonna show that type of emotion because I don't want people to get the wrong idea from me. Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know what you're saying.
Like if I'm not trying to say the word because I know I'm gonna say it wrong.
Vulnerable?
Yes. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. All aboard! All aboard! My damn lips are so big.
Vulnerable.
What? Vulnerable. Vulnerable. Ner.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Say formaldehyde.
What? Formaldehyde. What?
Just continue what you're saying. We know what the word is.
The V word.
Right.
The lucky V. I'm looking at you all pretty big. When you're V around people, not a virgin. When you V around people, vulnerable.
Just go.
I feel like people feel like they have a closer connection with you, and they're able to.
No, see the thing. Well, it just depends, because some people do take that vulnerability or that vulnerable moment.
God, you say it so nice.
And will try to use it against you.
Right.
So that was me. Like, I was like, yeah, hell no. You ain't gonna never catch me slipping, bitch, because you're not using this shit against me.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no. And so I can understand why people, not just men, why people would feel like, okay, I'm going to cry in my car. But like I said, if you're not ever giving anybody the opportunity, and I mean, if you're in a what's supposed to be committed relationship with someone, at some point, don't you think like there has to be those moments of vulnerability between the two of you for you guys to really connect like deeper?
Nah, some people don't think that way. Some people don't think that way.
But it's like, what do you like, ladies? Okay, because this is really who this is about. Mm-hmm. Because men, they think all women do is cry, and that's not necessarily true. It's some women out here that's harder, if you want to say that, than a lot of y'all. So, for the ladies that do feel like a man that cries is weak, like, why? Where does that come from? Like, is that something that your parents taught you? Like, oh, you don't want no weak nigga. Your idea of like what a weak man is like, oh, that means he cries. Like, what gave you?
I think it's generational
bullshit.
No. It's kind of like I know this is off topic. It's kind of like when you dating somebody and they have, let's say, one job, right? Mm-hmm. But you meet like let's say a Jamaican woman, and they come from where their dad had 3 or 4 jobs. That type of like, oh, I got so many jobs, I'm a Jamaican. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like a stereotypical thing that people say about Jamaicans. They have 35 jobs, right? Okay. I went to school with a lot of island women, and they be like, you need to get more jobs because my dad had like 4 or 5 jobs and you ain't doing enough. And you be like,
But you know what? See, then that kind of goes along with that whole idea of like, I want my man to be like my father. I think
Right.
that's weird.
But a lot of
I know.
a lot of
And a lot of men want their women to be like their mothers.
mom,
And for me,
like,
I think that that's weird. I don't care if if you mean it in a
a caring way.
no, in a figurative manner.
No, fuck that.
Like, oh, when I say that, I just mean I want somebody that's just like nurturing, you know, like somebody that's gonna like take care of me, or I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be compared to or added to or next to your mother. That's
right.
weird.
And I don't want
it's
to be
fucking strange, bro. Like,
to your daddy.
I want a man that's good. I want a man that's gonna be like my dad. Why? Because my dad provided. There's a lot of men that provide. You could have picked any other man and you chose your father. To me, that's weird.
Right.
To me, it's
weird. You could be like, man, I want a man that how Barack Obama treat Michelle.
Or like, even just like, I just want a man that provides. I want a man that's like,
show me love.
Yeah. Why does it have to be a comparison to your mother or your father? Like, that's just so fucking strange to me.
That's because that's what they see, and they just think that that's the correct thing to do.
That's weird. You might as well be sleeping with your parents, bro. Every time you think about how your man is like your dad, you should be thinking about your dad when you have sex. That's disgusting.
Stop.
I'm just saying, like, to me, that's how far that goes. Like, that shit is weird.
But it's...
I'm just saying, ew.
That's nasty.
But I don't know. I always found that to be very strange.
Yeah, no, it's definitely strange to me. But it's there are men that be like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't with that girl. They be like, oh, she crying again.
Okay,
she
men,
tripping.
Why? Why do you guys feel like the ones that do, you know, why do you feel like it's going to make you look weak if you shed a tear, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 100? Like, why does crying make you feel less than? When it's like, it's so natural. It's almost so natural to the point where you have to physically and almost like spiritually cut off tears. How? How?
That's why there's so many broken men.
Right. That's true.
That's why so many broken men, because they have a fucked up way of just looking at life. Of, I can't cry.
Do you think that it was because there are times I feel like where, okay, so let's say like Vaughn, right? He's 10. And when it comes to like other kids, he could give 2 fucks about what you have to say, right? But when it comes to an adult, especially in a situation where he's telling you something and you are denying what he's saying, or basically telling him that he's lying, or like, for him, he gets emotional behind that. I know parents, because he's a boy, would tell him, don't cry.
Yeah, you act like a bit. But you gotta think. One of his old teacher was like
Mr. Hasley.
He's very soft, and it's like, because my kid is emotionally like connected with his emotion.
He's very connected within himself. All of our kids are.
He's passionate about what he's passionate about his life, and they think that because kids are passionate about their life, then they're wrong. They're weak. They're weak sauce.
Well, he didn't say he was soft. He said in the sense of, because he was saying like he was talking to him and he got a little emotional behind it, and he was saying he was a little softer in that sense. But again, my thing is, just because you have one idea of what a young man or a boy or a grown man is supposed to be, does not mean that everybody is out here raising their children like that. I feel sorry for your kids. I feel sorry for your sons because he has sons. I feel sorry for your sons because you're basically telling your sons that it's not okay to cry. Even when you're very passionate about something. Like, if I'm telling you something and you're telling me that I'm lying, 9 times out of 10, most people do get passionate behind that. And behind passion, there is emotion, because if there's no emotion, then there's not passion.
That doesn't mean anything.
So I don't see anything wrong with that. And again, he's 10. He's still a little boy.
Right.
y'all want to make people grow up faster than what they are.
And
so
this
yeah,
is why. And
I
this
see
is
why, like you said, there's a lot of broken men in that sense, and even women. You guys are drilling these women or these young girls to think that a boy shouldn't cry, and it's like, but he was born crying,
right.
like literally was born straight out the womb crying.
Right. I feel like society now, like even parents our age, because we're a different set of parents. You know what I mean? We're a different breed on how we raise
I think our
kids.
whole generation is, yeah.
They are trying to get the kid out of the way so fast.
Our generation?
Just the generation that I would say at the end of our generation, be in the beginning of the next generation. They're the age of like,
right?
They want to they want to make their kids grow up faster than what they are, because you got to think about it. Kids that are Nathan age, they're not playing with. I mean, a lot of kids aren't playing with Legos. They're not playing with action figures. They talking about iPhones. We see it every day. iPhones, Nintendo Switches.
They on Instagram.
They, you know what I mean? They not playing Roblox.
Mind you, Nathan is 9.
Right. And Chum is 10. They talking about Gucci sneakers and Gucci hat or burp. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they are they're 10 years.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you saying that product of your environment, I think, is more true nowadays than it was when we were growing up.
Right.
Because
I think it's a different type of product in your environment, because when we were growing up, we didn't want to be a product of our environment.
Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on where you were at.
But now it's like, I grew up like this. I can provide this now, and it's like, whoa, you're doing what is? It's like for
no.
what?
I think when I say product of environment now, I mean in the sense like everybody wants to be like everybody.
Oh yes. Oh, so that's what I mean. Okay,
like,
so the
like
opposite
nobody,
of what I'm saying. Okay.
yeah. So like nobody, everybody just is kind of like one big ass person, and not in a good way,
right?
If that makes sense.
It's no longer,
or there's more people. I should say, not everybody. There's more people that are just like,
I want to be like that.
Yeah, but they want to be like that, right? But they want to be like that, and their kids are dressing like that because everybody else's kids are dressing like that, or they see a bunch of celebrities' kids dressing like that, and it's like, oh, they're making these for kids now. Everybody dress your kids like that. And it's like, that's fine if that's how you want to dress your kids, but at the same time, but your kids don't even know the difference. That's you.
It's kind of like, and I keep this to myself.
Oh, look, here we go again. New topic.
What? No. It's kind of like, no. It's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying all of us.
Oh yeah,
I mean, me and you both.
There's more people in here. No, I'm just joking. It's kind of like when you see the Yeezy foams. They're like the Crocs for Yeezys. They're ugly as fuck, right?
All his shit's ugly.
Right. But you see these kids with these Yeezy foams, and you're like, you spent $1,000 for those for what? For the kid to run around so they can match with? No. The only reason you bought them is because you saw Kim where her kids have them.
Listen, it don't even matter. The point is, people are drilling, and have been for plenty of generations,
right,
drilling their sons and daughters to believe that a man is weak if he shows emotion other than rage or anger.
Right. I think football teaches that.
That's what I was getting to. It's not, is it the parents? Because I feel like sometimes you get them parents that's like, okay, why are you crying? I used to be like that with the boys when they were really, really young, really, really young. And I used to be like, why are you crying? You're a little boy. And I had to check myself like, what the fuck that got to do with anything?
Right.
And I realized that it's not always just the parents. You have your parents that be, you're a boy, you shouldn't be crying, or don't cry. Don't cry. Why are you crying about everything? You don't have to cry about everything.
I feel like
it went from stop crying because you're a boy to you don't have to cry about everything.
I'd be like, what are you crying for? Like,
right.
That's what I say. Like, I look at them like, what are you crying for?
Right.
Like,
so
is this a scenario where you need to cry?
Right. And so it's the parents that say you shouldn't cry.
That smells so good.
I know, right? There's parents that say you shouldn't cry at all because you're a boy. Then there's parents who say, okay, well, why are you crying? do you actually have something to cry for? You know, to really help them to learn to evaluate their emotions. What is it? Why you feel this way?
Right.
Then again, the first kind that tell you not to, you completely shut down and make them suppress everything that they felt. They don't even ever get a chance to regulate or evaluate their emotions.
Right.
And then you get outside the home, and I feel like you have like coaches and teachers and things like that who probably also grew up in one of, you know, those types of homes who also enforce. But I think in sports it's different. Like I feel like a lot of young sports coaches always are telling the kids not to cry.
Yeah. Because they feel as though
The boys anyway.
no, they feel like crying is a weakness, which is why they say when you crying, that's the weakness. Well, man, they be like pain is the weakness leaving the body, and it's like what you crying for? You know what I mean? It's like it's gonna hurt. Let it hurt. You know what I mean?
But you let it hurt, and if
shit
within
hurt.
that hurt,
I'ma cry.
tears just so happen to be part of that
Nah,
hurt,
they be
then
like, nah.
what is the problem with that? And that's the thing. Like I said, this guy technically he's not wrong for what he said. You know, there are a lot of women who feel like, oh, he's weak because he's crying, but at the same time, it's not just women.
It's everybody.
It's men that feel like men are weak because they're crying.
Yeah, because you be like, bro, what you cry? If your homie calls you and he FaceTime you and you pick up the phone, he crying, you like, Nick, what are you crying for? And he be like, it's a lot going on. You gonna be like, most men gonna be laugh. Ha, bro, you are stupid. Like, what are you crying for? Like, what are you, a girl? Boom. Then there you go.
Right.
They label as the only people that's able to cry is a girl. You know what I mean? Or a man is not supposed to be emotionally damaged.
No, what it is it's almost as if like men aren't supposed to go through things.
Right.
And whoever came up with that idea, you can't tell a man to protect, provide, and what's the other one? Ain't it like 3 P's? Protect, provide,
protect, provide, and
it's another one. Whatever. You can't tell a man to do all these things as a man, but then tell him that he also can't go through things.
right.
It just doesn't make sense. So like I said, I totally understand why this guy feels the way that he feels. I just wish that when people speak about there's so much beef between men and women. For whatever reason.
It's unlabeled beef.
It's just like it's so ridiculous because at the end of the day, it's like we both need each other. No matter how you want to spend it, you could be as independent as you want as a woman. You could be as strong and self-sufficient as a man.
It's nothing like another.
But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we still can't coexist without each other.
Right.
It can't happen.
It cannot happen.
We all need each other at some point, right?
Right.
You know, some women are stronger than some men, but there's men that are stronger than women too. Some men may be smarter than this woman in this particular situation, but there are some women that are smarter than some men in this. Let's coexist. Like maybe you could do this and I'll do this.
Yeah.
Maybe you do this and we need each other. And so the beef between men and women, every time somebody speaks on something, everything is so 100% all of us are this way. All men are this way. Yeah, all women are this way. And it's like, no, that's not the case.
All black people smoke weed. And it's like, oh, you don't smoke?
That's another thing that bothers me, but that's a whole nother
smoke?
Conversation. Yeah. So
I'm like, no, I don't smoke. You don't drink? No, I don't drink. You don't do cocaine. I'll be like, what the fuck y'all talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it's because it's crazy because you see at when I'm doing production stuff, everybody walks around with a vape pen. You know what I mean? And they be like,
he always goes to another conversation. What that got to do with what we talking about?
That everybody. Okay, go ahead. Bad Boys 2 is a good movie. I mean, Bad Boys 1 is a good movie. But yeah, now back to your conversation at hand. I can't wait to get out these mics so I can talk about the other conversation. Um, but yeah, I got laughed at because it's more.
And I'm sure there's probably a lot of men that get laughed at, and I think that that just means that the woman that you're currently with
Ain't for you.
she ain't it.
She ain't it.
I mean, but if she laugh at him, she gonna laugh at somebody else too.
She
So
sure is.
at the end of the day, she just a bitch.
She don't know. She ain't it. She gonna end up with another. Let me shut up.
That's it. She's a bitch. Like she clearly is confused as to what a human being is and what it means to be emotionally connected to oneself. And
Right.
so therefore she deserves to be lonely.
That's true.
I mean, honestly, like, what else could you say about somebody like that? Like, bitch, you're gonna laugh because I'm hurting. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Or
that doesn't make any sense.
I'm weak because I'm going through stuff. Like, bitch, you cry when you're on your period. How the fuck am I weak? I'm just saying.
I get you.
That's valid. I'm weak, but you've been going through this since you was between the ages of starting 9 and 11. Like, you've been had this period forever, and you're crying. You still cry every time you get your period over nothing.
Right.
But I can't cry, and I'm actually going through something. And some people may be like, "That's not the same thing." It's not, but it is.
It's not, but it is.
It is.
Yeah, that's.
You know, you're not actually going through anything because there are like we just have hormonal shifts, and it may make you cry. You may be that girl where she sees an animal commercial and she cries, but it's because of her hormonal shift at that moment. But if he's actually going through what he may feel like is a real, not necessarily life crisis, but it's just hard. He's really trying to figure it out and he just can't figure it out. How is that any different? How is it wrong for him to cry, but it's okay for you to cry because you've seen an animal commercial during a hormonal shift? That's not.
I know, because I'm not going to even talk about that.
I'm just saying.
I was going to say that, because you ain't going to be making fun of me.
You cried during the animal commercial?
No, I just always kind of like feel like I want to cry during the Creed. When he practiced.
But Creed's not real.
I don't care. There's something in there that's make me emotional, and I'll be like, "Oh,
that ain't
shit.
your story, so that can't be it."
Nah.
Usually people cry when there's like a connection of some sort, especially on that type of movie.
I don't know what the connection.
Or like if you're watching a movie and somebody dies, like a loved one dies in a movie, people cry over that type of stuff, but you're crying because what you I know what? I fucking hate those movies though. So I don't know what I don't know
what it is though. It might be just the struggle. No, the struggle of just trying to be great at something, and you have to go through so much. Like,
okay, well, see, now I can understand that. That's why I was saying
so much, and you physically have to like break yourself to be like, I'm gonna be the best 3-point shooter, and just to mentally. Yeah, just to whatever.
Well, that's why I says usually it's something that someone can relate to when it's a movie, why they're crying.
Yeah, so I've
or it's just really, really sad. But you bringing up Creed, I'm like, I don't fucking know. But I mean, I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah, like I have a.
But yeah, like if a man, like if you cried while we was watching Creed, I would probably initially laugh, like because I don't feel that from that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like, why is he over there? What the hell? But then after you explain it to me, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would probably apologize simply because it's like, well, damn, that was a little rude. I shouldn't have laughed. But at the same time, it's like I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just very strange. I'm not laughing because you're crying. I'm laughing because what is happening?
You're off guard, like.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good topic. I like it. Please comment about if you cry or if you think it's crying.
If you think crying makes you weak as a man, if you're a man and you think crying makes you weak as a man, I want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a woman and you think crying as a man makes him weak, I want to know why.
Right.
Because I, for the life of me, can't understand why anybody would feel like water makes you weak.
Right.
Like like I said, if it's not anger or pure rage,
Man.
people can't accept the fact of a man crying.
I know all about rage and crying rage.
I think everybody's experienced a cry rate. I think everybody's experienced a sadness cry, a sad cry, and a rage cry. I think everybody has experienced that at least once, or a frustration.
Have anybody experienced a rapid punch cry? Like you just be like, motherfucker, and just break something. I've done that too many times.
How many people have experienced a hunger cry? Like, what if he's hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry right now.
Like, what if he's hungry?
Did we eat today?
What if he's homeless and he's crying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
or those cries of like, I've tried to do everything in my power to fix things and it's still not going.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, who says a man isn't allowed to experience heartbreak, heartache, or just go through things, period?
Right.
Like, who came up with that? Yeah, I really want to know, because I was kind of pissed, like, when I watched it.
You watched it today?
It was, like I said, it was a while ago, a couple months actually. When I was watching it, I was like, I'm so tired of hearing like men do this and women do this. And it's like everybody is not the same. Like everybody's not walking around here sleeping with things just because they are alive. Like everybody is not that person. Like everybody don't lie, everybody don't cheat, everybody don't steal, kill, and everything else. Like everybody is not everybody, bro. Like
and then they look at you crazy when you not. Like what you mean?
I don't think it's real.
Like what the hell?
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna fake that I actually care about you. All right, great. Which can happen. You're not wrong. But at the same sense, again, not everybody is out here to get you. Like, we not all the same. We not all out here plotting. Like, bitch, I'm going through it and I'm fucking sad as fuck. I'm frustrated. And bitch, if I feel like I need to go take a bath and cry, bitch, I'm gonna go take a bath and I'm gonna cry. I don't think if you said that to me, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll make sure the kids don't bother you. If you would have said that to me when we first got together, I'm gonna take a shower. I'm having a bad day. I'm gonna come in the shower with you and I'm gonna hold you while you cry. I don't know, like, to me, it's just a matter of like, be there for somebody.
You think take the words out of my mouth. You think people know how to be there for somebody? When
a lot of people don't.
When that situation happens?
A lot of people don't, but I think a lot of people don't because they don't understand. They themselves haven't been able to. They don't understand their own emotions. Therefore, how can you help someone to understand theirs? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like if all I do when I get angry is punch walls, right? How, when you get angry, am I supposed to help you calm down?
That's true.
I can't. I haven't figured my own shit out.
Right.
I can't be there for you. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why people feel the way that they do.
So I need to punch walls to make me feel better than to cry?
I don't know.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
I don't know.
Because I cry and punch walls.
Well,
back in the day.
The punching came first, and then the tears came after. Why are you making? What is wrong with you?
Oh, you didn't hear the door open?
I did, but why did you just like?
Because I'm just making sure that we got nothing.
You're so strange.
Yeah. So hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah, comment, please. I really want to know what is the big deal with a man crying, and why does that make him look weak? Again, men, if you're a man, if you're a man and
howdy,
you feel like I can't cry because it makes me look weak, or you ever felt that way, I want to know why you felt that way. Please explain to me.
Please explain.
And women, if you prefer a man that does not cry, which is very odd, I would like to know why. Please explain that to me. And you're the fuck strange. So there's that. Because, bitch, if you cry, then why he can't? I'm just saying. So I just want to know. Okay.
Because we got two different emotional damages in us. I'm just talking shit.
I don't know what you're saying at this point.
Nothing.
Y'all just listen to
Talk that shit.
with the Melvins.
We out this thing.
Bye.
Peace out.